there are 4 speaker talks, and the order is starting from Adam and Ruby, Amir, and Matthew. So let me share my screen first. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. And please keep your 1 minute time. So if Adam, are you ready?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, and go.
Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Batten, and my question for you today is, can we use fast radio bursts to actually study AGN feedback? Well, in my paper that's being submitted in a couple of days, the answer is yes. So I've been using the Eagle simulations, and I've analyzed how the expected distribution of fast radio burst dispersion measure changes when you change AGN feedback. And it turns out you need about 10 to the 4, 10 to the 5 localized FRBs to be able to determine the difference between regular feedback and maybe some stronger but more intermittent feedback. And so this is kind of the same sort of order that you expect in the next 10 years or so, with the SKA coming online and using MeerKAT and all the current work going along. So it seems to be that we will, in the future, be able to use fast radio bursts to measure what's going on in galaxy evolution and AGN feedback. I also show that FRBs at redshift 0.2 are the best FRBs if you want to be able to measure what's going on in galaxies. Thank you.
Perfect. Next talk is by Ruby. Are you ready, Ruby?
Yep, all good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like Adam, I'm working on the Eagle simulations, but I'm going to run through essentially a day in the life of a satellite, or more accurately, 5 billion years in the life of a satellite as it falls into a group. So on the left, you're watching animations of the orbit of the satellite itself, and on the right, a number of panels showing the evolution of some of the satellite's properties. Now, if we focus on the gas flows as the satellite enters the host virial radius, we can see that the galaxy's fresh inflow rate essentially decreases below the outflow rate, meaning that the galaxy's gas reservoir is net being stripped, and the galaxy's star formation rate then consequently in the bottom panel starts to decline. So in this sort of circumstance where we have a more massive, relatively massive 10 to the 10 solar mass satellite, it actually takes more than one pericentric passage or close approach to fully quench the galaxy. But interestingly, we're seeing that with less massive satellites, around 10 to the 9 solar masses, these types of galaxies can actually easily be quenched on infall, and even in some cases, even before the first pericentric passage. So I'll leave it there, but definitely feel free to get in touch on Slack if you'd like to talk more about this.
Great. So, are you ready, Amir?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Amir, and I'm doing my PhD at Macquarie University. I want to know how reliable shell galaxies are in cosmological simulations. Shell galaxies in simulations are a source for testing the predictions of theoretical models about galaxies' merger histories. However, simulations' mass resolution limits put a lower limit on the production of detectable shells. In this work, we used analytical models to predict this lower limit. The bottom left panel shows our analytical predictions for 4 simulations with different mass resolutions and how these limits are related to merger ratios in massive galaxies. You can see that lower resolution simulations are limited to the production of massive shells from major mergers. Minor mergers can produce detectable shells only in high resolution simulations. The right panel shows the fraction of detected massive shell galaxies in simulations with the same resolutions as the galaxies in the bottom left panel. As you can see, the fraction of shell galaxies drops for simulations with lower mass resolution. This indicates the lack of shell production in lower resolution simulations. While this result approves our analytical method, it also indicates that low resolution simulations miss a considerable fraction of shell producing minor mergers. Contact me if you are interested in this matter, and I will be happy to answer your questions. I leave it here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Matthew, are you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
please.
cool. Thanks. My name is Matt. I'm a second-year PhD student at UWA. I'm also studying resolution effects. Specifically, I'm looking at how collisions between dark matter particles and disk particles affects galaxy morphology. The first panel on the left, you can see the blue points that are starting stars, and after 5 gig years of evolution, only purely due to gravity, you end up with the pink distribution, which, as you can see, is like completely unrecognizable as a disk. Fortunately, this heating rate is determined almost entirely by the number of particles used to resolve the galaxy, which I'm showing in the middle plot with the different colors. The dashed lines are our model, which predicts the heating rate. And we're using this to show that, to argue that we're not even resolving gravity properly in these yet low resolution systems. Finally, in the right panel, we have the measured V on sigma, where again, our pure disk galaxies become much thicker and less rotationally supported as they evolve. Now that we've quantified this issue, we can put a bit more forethought into designing simulations in the future. And if you're interested, get in contact. Thanks.